Hey guys, DJ Swag here, and today we are doing a story time video, much like my DG stories, but this is a story where me and my brother and my brother's friend, we're all at the house alone, we're all hanging out, what have you, and then they're like, man, I could go for some snacks, you know, go for some Funyuns, some Doritos, and I'm like, yeah, I could too. We go to DG. DG's only about 20 minutes from where we live, it's where I work. 20-minute drive, closest place around. That isn't a gas station. So, we get ready, we head on out. My brother's like, hey, we taking Mom's car. And I'm like, no, we'll take my car. I got the sub in it, you know, I got a 12-inch sub in the back seat. I'm not going in my mom's Suburban, you know, which I drive more than my own car nowadays. But, okay, besides the point. We're driving there, we get there, you know, we're bumping music, bumping some tunes. You know, and we get there, and smoke is, like, coming out of the hood, out of the engine, and they're like, is it supposed to do that? And I'm like, yeah, it's fine, okay, it's because of the AC. And then, you know, we come back, we get all our snacks, what have you, Pokemon cards, you know, things of the like, you know, Doritos, Pokemon cards, because, well, I'm an addict, and I can't stop buying either, actually. But we get in the car and we try to start it, and it's not going. It's not going. So I you know, thought it was a fuel line. No, it wasn't that. The battery was good. No, I don't know what happened. We eventually got it started after this crack addict was like, hey, how's it going, man? Oh, man. And like, the other two people in my car, my brother and his friend, are like in the passenger and back seat. They're like, what does this man want? And I'm like, yeah, he's a local crack addict. Okay. But then, we eventually get it started. We get it rolling. We're going. We're down on the highway. And then my truck completely dies. It's just, after we made the turn off the highway, my car completely dies. Now, when I say highway, it was originally a main road, which was at one point a highway. It is not one of these main highways you see nowadays with like 4 or 5 lanes. It was just 2 lane, back forth, you know, etc. And then my truck completely dies. So we turn into this dirt road onto like dirt road into this parking lot of a church, and we're sitting there. And I call my dad, because, you know, he's a car guy, big into cars. He knows what he's doing. I really don't. And we're there, and waiting for him, because we call him, we figure out kind of what's wrong, and then he's probably about an hour out. And I'm like, alright, we are pretty far from, like, there's a church parking lot. This was like a Thursday night, no, probably not. It was probably like a Monday night. Let's say it was a Monday night. It was a Monday night. Alright, I don't know which actual date it is, but we'll call it a Monday night. We're there, and the church, of course, isn't open. So we're there for about 5-10, and I'm like, I've gotta poop. And they're like, that sucks, bro. Sucks to be you. And I'm like, yeah, it does suck to be me, because I have to take a crap. And if you have ever tried to hold in a turd for more than 10 minutes, you feel like you were dying. It is the worst feeling in the entire world. It is so bad. It is so bad. Then, you know, another 5-10 roll around, and I'm like, I've gotta let this turd out. This is bad. And they're like, just poop on the sidewalk. One, there's no sidewalk. It's literally a road, a dirt field with some grass, and it is the most open place ever. Everyone can see you. And we're like a couple feet from a house. Okay? Because it's like dirt field, and then it's a bunch of houses. And it's like the dirt field to the church, and then near the church are a bunch of houses. So I was like, if I hopped out of my car, popped the squat, and dumped the turd on the dirt, people would see me. And, public indecency is a crime. I don't know what actual age it is, but I was 21 at the time, and being 21, doing public indecency, dropping a turd, some officer might be like, alright, I got you, man, won't be, yeah, I get what you had to do. Other people will probably be like, prison. Okay, I'll be heading to jail for having my butthole out in public. Rightfully so, because I had to poop. And we're probably there for like 30 minutes by now. And anytime someone moved in the car, my stomach was in so much pain. I was like, no, Josh, Jeff, don't you move. His name's not Jeff, his name's not Josh. We're gonna call him Jeff for the sake of this video. But Jeff, don't you move. Jeff is in the backseat. And I'm like, Jeff, don't you move. If you move, a turd is literally about to fall out of my body. My brother, meanwhile, he's just sitting in the passenger seat watching anime on his phone. And I'm like, dude, I am in so much pain. I am in so much pain. I couldn't move. If I moved, my stomach felt like it was being shot with a tank shell. A freaking missile from a tank had just shot my stomach and blown it apart. If my brother in the passenger seat moved, oh my, I almost lost a turd. My Jeff in the back seat, he had moved his leg, rested his foot on his knee, and I'm like, he's like, bro, I gotta move. My leg is falling asleep. I gotta move. And I'm like, you move. And this turd is leaving my body. It was that bad. So eventually my parents come around. They finally get there. We're figuring out the problem. And I hop out of my car. I sprint to my mother. Hop in. I'm like, drive me to the gas station. Drive me to the gas station. Drive me there. I have to poop so bad. And then we get there. We hop out. I run into the gas station. I get to the bathroom. And then I'm sitting there. And I'm like, I don't have to poop. I don't have to poop. Also, since I didn't mention, about 20-30 minutes in of us sitting there, some friends came by of my parents to see if our car was on fire. It wasn't, thankfully. And they're like, hey, you need anything? Water or anything? And I'm like, I could have been like, hey, take me to your house so I can take a dump in your toilet. But I didn't, because I'm dumb. I'm the stupidest man alive. And I sat there for 40-45 minutes with a turd in my butthole, and it was the worst feeling I had ever felt in my entire life.